While shopping at Target, we realized that they have some different frozen pizzas than we've ever seen anywhere else before. And I don't know when Target started doing this, but we're so glad they did. Because what I found here, it looks like it's made in a pizza restaurant and then it's flash frozen and shipped around the country. This is called Katie's Burrata Margherita Pizza. It sells rather for $13.49, which might sound like a lot of money for a small amount of pizza. But you can see this is already cooked. It's done. And it says here on the back, it says, how do you elevate the queen of Italian pizza? Burrata. Our chefs start with leavened for 48-hour dough. It's hand stretched into the crust and wood fired at 800 degrees. We then add Katie's fresh house-made sauce and creamy burrata cheese. Premium olive oil, sea salt, and fresh basil complete the perfectly balanced symphony from our chefs to your table. Buon appetito. Now this says cook it at 425 Fahrenheit. Place directly on the rack for a crispier crust. Otherwise, cook it on a baking sheet or stone for a softer crust for 8 to 12 minutes. Do not microwave. So I don't know that this is a restaurant. This comes out of St. Louis, Missouri at katies.com. I did not realize until just now that that was not mozzarella, because this looks like a prototype, perfect prototype of a traditional Neapolitan margherita pizza. But no, they always have to elevate it, don't they? They have to take something perfect and try and make it better. I've only had one other experience with burrata cheese, and I didn't care for it. I don't want a creamy pizza, and this is a creamy cheese. Now I'm worried that I'm going to like this or not. On the other hand, if I don't like it, think of the money I'll save. At $13.49, I mean, I could pretty much get a pizza to go from a local pizza shop, but it ain't going to be this level of quality. However, let's get it out of the package. I mean, there's not much to really show you. You see what you get what you see here. Unlike the other pizzas we've worked with where they're in, cardboard boxes and we have to open them up and see what they look like. This one's on full display, which means they're not hiding anything, and they're probably saving a lot of money in packaging. Why put it in a cardboard box if it doesn't need it? Just adding to the landfill. But check this out. This is already cooked. So again, this is like you order from a restaurant and you have them freeze it for you so you can have them mail it to you anywhere in the world with dry ice, put it in your freezer. It's probably good for 6 months in the freezer, I would guess. And you can have that restaurant quality right at home. It is a premium cost, but it's still cheaper, I'm sure, than eating it at the restaurant. And the restaurant, if it's in, let's say, Missouri and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, that's a long drive to go have dinner. The cost of gas alone will make this seem like pennies. $13.49 is a bargain if you look at it that way. That cardboard separated off pretty good. Look at that. That is a fully cooked pizza. However, it's still going to need about the same amount of time in the oven as any other frozen pizza, and you do want to make sure it's cooked thoroughly. So let me go throw it in the oven, and we'll take a look at what it looks like all reheated and give it a taste test. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the way a pizza is supposed to look. This is an original, traditional Neapolitan pizza, except with the burrata cheese, they've elevated it. Otherwise, if you go to a nice, real, authentic Italian pizza dining experience, this is exactly what the pizza will look like coming out of the oven. This is promising. It looks fantastic. All right. I hope it tastes as good as it looks and smells. There should be a freshness. That's the best way I can explain it. It should taste fresher than any pizza you've ever had in your life. So I'm going to start. Let me get a thin piece because it's really hot. This is exactly the way it's supposed to look. And I know there's a lot of Americans going, there's not enough cheese. Yes, there is. Yes. When you're using this kind of fresh made cheese cut into slices rather than shredded, you don't know what you don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. If you just want to go buy some cheese and bread, you can go make a grilled cheese sandwich if that's what you want. All right, so the crust It's firm but floppy at the same time. It sort of holds up on its own partially, but Neapolitan pizzas, usually this is pretty standard and expected. Okay, here we go. Hmm. Maybe I pulled it out of the oven too soon. The crust feels undercooked, even though it was pre-cooked, right? It's a little chewier than what I'm expecting. Very, very light. These pizzas are designed for one person. Welcome to Italy. You wouldn't share a hamburger. In Italy, you don't share a pizza. Everything's hitting on all cylinders, but this crust, it's just, and that maybe that's my fault. Maybe I just took it out of the oven too soon, but the cheese was all bubbling, and I'm like, I don't want to burn this. And it was in there within the range of time that they recommend. So it wasn't like I, didn't follow the instructions. But let me finish this piece and let me get to a conclusion. A margherita pizza is always very simple. It's always very light. Sometimes they replace tomato sauce with whole tomatoes or chunks of tomatoes. I'm not a fan of that, but it's an acceptable and common type of margherita pizza. Sometimes they use mozzarella cheese from buffalo. Sometimes they use mozzarella cheese from cows. Here they're using a burrata cheese, which tastes a little bit sweeter than mozzarella, but it's not as creamy as the previous time I had burrata. So that's why if I would have noticed that this was burrata on the package when I bought it, I wouldn't have purchased this, because it's not that I don't like burrata. I'm not used to it, and it doesn't immediately connect with me. I already like mozzarella. I had no reason to try and improve what was already perfect. So that being said, well done, Katie's, and well done, Target, for finally breaking free of this, let's do what everybody else is doing mentality in the grocery store market. Because if I'm going to Kroger or I'm going to Safeway, if I'm going to any of the big grocery stores here, they all pretty much carry the same thing. So for Target to start offering something different, that gives me a reason to go to Target. The problem with Target is they're one of the single most expensive grocery stores in my area. If you've got an item that nobody else sells, you don't have to worry about what the price is. If it sells, right? They can't shop around for a better price because you're the only one in town that's got it. And while we're here, we can pick up the staples, the bread, the eggs, the milk, all the stuff you can get anywhere else. But as long as it's not priced so high versus the cost of gas to go to a different store and wait in another line, then it works out for Target. But if I'm looking for great prices, I don't go to Target. They got to do something about the crust. That's where it falls short. That's what's keeping this from a perfect 10 score. We're just hairs away from a perfectly scoring pizza here. This is easily a 9.5 out of 10. Easy. And I love that I can just pick it up at Target. It's not hard to find. We've got another frozen pizza review coming right up. Bye for now.